guys, it's MJ from Alta Love. How are you? Happy New Year. It's January 1st, 111 what? 2018. And I honestly feels like the last 2.5, 3 years has been this like weird time warp portal of transformation, like intense accelerated transformation. And so much energy has like opened us up and kind of like blown us out of the stratosphere of our conventional old perception of what reality is. And so day to day there's just these amazing revelations and insights and access to wisdom that I think a lot of us probably never even thought was possible. You know, certainly as young kids in schools, and you know, when we're being taught, well, this is how the world is, and you know, now we're into adulthood, and those of us who have broken free and had these awakenings and transformed our lives, it's just like, what is life? And I think a lot of this 111, this kind of spiritual awakening energy is just going to continue to permeate into the collective. This is something, again, for me personally, like since I had my early awakenings, it's something that I was like aware of intuitively throughout my journey. And like a lot of the deeper lessons for me were like about patience, staying grounded, continuing to have faith, continuing to believe, continuing to like yoke that inner knowing. And now the inner knowing is the reality that I live, you know, like finding a base and finding a home, and having the opportunity to live self-sustainably, or like, you know, build a project around that and actually learn in a very practical way about that stuff. Having products and things that I've created from my heart in alignment with my truth. It's just like, and actually this, like vlogging like this and sharing like this is huge to do with my own, like, I'm sure 5 years ago I would have been like I can't even bear to think of looking at myself on camera, let alone like vlogging every day and talking to myself and like talking it out, because this platform has a lot to do with that channel of self-expression, and thus the reflection of seeing your own energetic radiation, you know, seeing your own creative output, and then allowing that life to reflect itself back to you. It's such an expansive spiral, you know. Life, when you merge more with the timelessness, you know, the old linear perception just becomes very limited. It just, and then every once in a while it feeds back to you, and you're like, whoa, you know, people still live in that disempowered reality. And I guess that's a big part of it for January, you know, the shift, I guess, for the awakener, or, you know, I don't know why I'm not really big on using the expression light workers. I know the definition to me really does resonate, but I sometimes think we get swept up in labels and light workers, you know, when we're just human beings. We're human beings with a certain perspective that in that way, yeah, it does shine light for people. But it's not a holier than thou, self-righteous sort of title. However, you know, 2018, 111, a collective recognition of 111 being a signaled guidance sort of spiritual awakening, and then collectively we've actually hit that number on our collective linear timeline, right? So suddenly it's going to be like a tipping point, a sway of more people having those awakenings that for some of us happened 20 years ago, 15 years ago, or 2 years ago, and now we're positioned in a place to assist in that, in, I suppose I want to say, either more grounded way, more practical way, but maybe in a bigger way as well, like seeing more people show up, or, you know, more people come into our realities, or just in a different way, you know, in a way that feels maybe more integrated for a lot of us, especially like those who have been doing like out on the fringes for a while, and have felt very alienated. And for me, that's been a big part of the last couple years, as weird as and out there as it's been. As I settle into my new energies, I'm okay. So yes, it's been intense, and I've processed intense rage and heartache, and still working with some of that, but not so intensely and from a detached perspective. And so even though emotionally speaking and even circumstantially it's potentially been one of the most intense phases of my life, absolutely, heartbreak and intense rage, and of course I'm owning and transforming all of this intensity, and like continuing to have faith and continue to work through fears around money, or fears around being alone, or fears of abandonment. And yet it's been the most exciting couple years of my life. It's been the more obviously transformative, because at this point I feel new. I feel I can have a fresh start. I can really let go of all that painful suffering. I can really let go of like thinking I'm not enough, or thinking I'm here to please people, or thinking that I'm, in that essence, like that nugget right there, just thinking that we're here for other people is a wild distortion. We are here to yoke of self. We're here to become fully empowered, joyful, loving, expressive creators, so that we can empower the mass, so that we can shine our brightest light for the totality. That's the service. That's our service to the world. And it's not, again, it's not about masking our density. That's like the biggest highlight to me with regards to what I'm about, and what the Fearless Life Guide talks about is like, we're not here to deny the fact that we are carriers of energy. So we're not here to deny the fact that we might have some darkness and some density. In fact, if we're human beings, we're more than likely, like we carry that shit. And unless we're going to expose it and own our shadow, again, we stay locked in patterns. So we might stay, or we might think we've risen and then end up having to work through another cycle. Woohoo! Pepe! Right on, bring it on. Bring on this new cycle, so that things can feel lighter for us. Things can, integration. Integration is just the word that keeps popping up. So integration, which is embodiment, which means clearer reflections and quicker, more honest, accelerated manifestations. So we're in these heightened manifestation times. A lot of us might as well just prepare to be living the life of our dreams and keep yoking that, so that we can continue to guide people vibrationally, whether this is the means for you. So if you're doing the online thing, or whether you're someone who hosts events, or whether you're a painter, or you want to host workshops, or whatever your channel of expression is your gift to the world. And that is a really beautiful, who knew, like who fucking would have thought when we were little that this is how, like, that we would end up having an awakening that made us remember that we're actually like these divine creators that perceive through a window, like a portal of light-filled, love-filled awareness that allows us to see a full spectrum of manifested material creation, like through form and separation. It is truly epic. And the fact that as individual divine sparks of creation, we get to choose our experience, and I know it doesn't seem like that, but we are the choosers on this most expansive, far more expansive than what our normal conditioned mind can comprehend. But in the silence of our meditation, or those moments where we just sort of feel into our infinity and our eternity and our timeless aspect, the divine light, and you feel into the epic void of divine light, and also the radiance, like the brilliant radiance and exhilaration of divine light, and that 0 point of everything is like actually okay, you burst through to the other side, right? And that old world is like a dream. Living in the world of victimhood and enslavement and empowerment is like a dream, and us moving into conscious creation It's unlimited. Our ability to create heaven here on earth is unlimited. Our ability to live the heaven is right here now, in our presence, in the light of our presence, right? So here we go. 2018, yeah, 2018, 11111, the Masters, the year of the rise of masters, the rise of prophets, the rise of the messengers who are here to shine light in the most loving way possible, and more discernment from the collective, more energetic awakening from the collective. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Pepe, nice to see you comment, and woo woo, 2018 is definitely on. I gotta go teach a yoga class now. I love you guys. Have an epic 2018, and I'll probably see you tomorrow because I do it every day. I like to post. Happy New Year, Dan McGinley. I'm literally kind of laughing. I'm also on my computer, and you've posted something on one of my blogs about I'm so done chasing the gilded golden phallus of the patriarch. But also the comment of the gilded golden phallus of the patriarch is rather hilarious. Have an awesome day. Happy New Year, you guys. Love you loads. Bye.